Canada's been taken over, depending on which pocket you are in. For some reason, they've dumped all the Somalians and the Africans in Winnipeg and in Saskatchewan. I don't know why they've dumped people in the hottest spot to the coldest spot, maybe to make them uncomfortable and more civil unrest. That makes sense to me. I was just in Toronto last week. That place is literally New India. If there was any doubt that there was not a complete takeover of Jeets and Indians and Third Worlders in Toronto, it's over. It's literally all that. And if they're not that color of Skittles, it's fat, overweight white people. My goodness. You fatties, just head in your phone, sleepwalking through life to your 300 square foot studio apartment in your cubicle, working your nonprofit career for the government. It is over in Toronto. You could not pay me to live in that shithole. Never would I ever live there. And if you're one of the few people watching from the Toronto area that are awake, I apologize, but Toronto's a shithole. So with the Great Replacement Theory, the whole concept is feminism has destroyed the birth rates because women want to have fun and party and not have kids. Therefore, the fertility rate goes down. Therefore, to keep the pension Ponzi and the fake debt-based money system around and all the census going the way they are for the political catchments and the political ridings, we got to import the third world to offset that. And if you follow the birth rates completely falling off a cliff, the immigration goes almost the complete opposite way. It's funny how that works. As the birth rates fall, the immigration completely takes over. And for those that are upset saying, well, the Indians are bringing over their 13 kids and the government is paying for them. True. And the Somalians bringing over their 17 kids and the government pays for them and puts them up in a 4-star hotel by the Winnipeg airport. This is all true. However, you should be having kids. Don't want to be replaced? Have kids. And you dudes, you soy boys checking out, being like, wow, women aren't worth it. I'm checking out. You need to have kids if you don't want to be replaced. I look at everything that I do in my life. Everything that I'm doing is for my future kids and future family. You look at every species on Earth, all they do to exist is to reproduce. That's the only purpose they have. Live, eat, reproduce, continue. That's the purpose every species has ever had since literally the beginning of human time. Doesn't matter what species. Everybody wants to reproduce. But for some reason, and specifically with the white population, they have been convinced the women that apparently motherhood is slavery, which is a lie, because after all of them work 2 weeks in a corporate job, I would happily stop voting if that meant I didn't have to work this soul-crushing job. They all realize they've been lied to. And the men have become so fat and so soft, so docile and dull, they have no desire to have kids. You want to know why I want to have kids? I want to create the better versions of me. I owe it to my ancestors. My father made sacrifices, my mother made sacrifices to have me. And then their parents, my dad's side, who are the natives, who survived God knows how many colonization attempts to kill all their ancestors, survived to have me. And then my mom, her dad, who came over from Germany, dodging bombs in WW2 after the bad guy, or excuse me, the Germans, busted in, booted open his door when he was 7, 8 years old, put a gun to his head and said, you're going to do this or else. He survived all that. All these sacrifices through the generation of my bloodlines led to me being here and being gifted the opportunity of life and to do something with that. And for me to sit here and say, women aren't worth it, I'm not going to reproduce. Well, world's screwed. World is French toasted. I'm trying to watch my profanity here for YouTube, and if you have any kids watching, I'm just not going to have kids. You are a coward and you are selfish. Having kids is the entire purpose of life. And you bet your ass, I have a plan, and I'm going to have kids, and I'm going to have a lot of kids. Now, one of the problems, let's talk about the women. Because despite what society says, men alone cannot have kids, right? Being gay, you cannot have kids. I don't care. You got to steal somebody else's kids. If you want to be an LGBTQ alphabet soup crowd, you got to steal somebody else's kids. You can't have your own kids. The women do suck. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. Most women suck. And when I was in Toronto, the amount of women that I saw in these very low-cut, skimpy tops and skimpy outfits and just cussing and swearing like truck drivers and sailors, the most raunchy, disgusting things coming out of their mouths in public when I am by them. So if you're comfortable enough to say that with me in public, I could not imagine how you speak behind closed doors. These women have become so masculinized. The problem, you have to reject mediocrity. Now, you cannot reject mediocrity if you have no options, right? I'm very lucky. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. I'm very fortunate. I'm 6'5". I'm tall, handsome, humble, and sexy. I was a former ex-professional hockey player. I have a lot going for me, right? I'm very fortunate in that aspect. I'm using that as my leverage point to reject mediocrity and get more of what I want so I get the results of life that I desire, right? If you allow any woman that responds to your text and touches your PP, your Pierre Polyev, and said, well, you know what? That seems like a good option. I'm going to wife that up. You are asking to get bent over, no spit, no lube, sandpaper finish, and saying, please, Mark Carney and the boys, give me more.